Hello, fans of the Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Today is Victory Monday. Right on. We are 5-1. We're actually in first place because the Packers had their bye, so they're 4-1, and it was a double bonus yesterday. Not only did the Bears get a W, Green Bay got their ass whipped, and there is nothing better than seeing that. And what's funny about it is Tampa Bay probably went back and watched what the Bears defense did to Tom Brady, and they turned around and did the same thing to Aaron Rodgers because he's another one. The really good ones, if you can get in their head and keep hitting them and keep hitting them, they get pissed. And then they start making mistakes. And look what Aaron Rodgers did. Couple interceptions, one return for a touchdown. So just saying. So it was a double victory. Except for I'm in a survival league where you can only get 2 strikes. I got a strike yesterday because I picked New England. New England. So, but I didn't even care because the Bears won when the Packers lost. Golden. So let's talk about the game. So first of all, what I want to say, I always, always, always want the Bears to win. I mean, I want a victory no matter what, okay? Ugly, pretty, who cares? But we've got some issues still. Okay, so we're going to talk about the good right now, okay? So the good is the defense. Obviously, it is like these guys are balling. They came to play yesterday. They were flying all over the field, all of them. It was a thing of beauty. It really, really was. We had 3 turnovers. We had 2 interceptions and a fumble. We would have had 3 interceptions, but penalty wasted that. And the interception was null and void. And it would have been an interception for a touchdown. Eddie Jackson, 39, but we know. But that's all right. You know what? He'll get them next week. They had 4 sacks against Teddy Bridgewater yesterday. They were just in his face. And that was the thing about the defensive coordinator. First time this year I've seen him dial up as many pressures as he did. And even the announcers, and it was a good point. It's because they're getting comfortable. No, actually, I heard this on a news show last night. I was listening to some Chicago news shows, and they were saying, radio shows, and they were saying it seems like the defense is getting more comfortable each week. And with that, maybe Pagano, our defense coordinator, is now dialing up things because he feels like they're comfortable with it. One of the most improved each week I see is Roquan Smith, 58, linebacker. Each week I see him taking a better step forward. Now, I've been reading and that Danny Trevason is mentoring him, and they're starting to give Roquan more responsibility out on the field. He's going to start calling plays. Danny's going to call less, and Smith is going to call more. So it seems to be paying off. He's really, I see a lot of improvement. And then JJ, I call him JJ number 38. He is just awesome. Another one. Our secondary is really, this is first time in a really long time that we've had a solid secondary. It's always been good up front, and then the secondaries were bad. Now it's a solid secondary. I mean, Eddie Jackson, we love. Fuller, that was another thing. What a bullshit penalty when he got that guy, and he hit him with his shoulder. He did what you're supposed to do. He came in and he hit him. And what did they do? They gave him a penalty. So that was a bullshit. The coaches weren't going to get on his ass about that because, come on. It's like, it's football. I get the head, but he did not hit him in the head. He hit him with his shoulder. And if you watch the game, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so defense, I mean, what is there to say? If it wasn't for the defense, we would not be 5-1, and we all know it. Hicks, my man, I got his jersey on today. Hicks had quite a game, too. He was all over the place. I really didn't have time to get in and see who had the sacks, but I know Hicks had one, and it don't really matter. We had 4. It was great. And then there was a lot of hits, and it was just great. Defense is just, I love it. I'm a fan of defense. My favorite Of course, I like to see my team score a lot of points, but the Bears, let's face it, they just don't do it. They have never been a big, lots of scores. You know, we had a couple years where every once in a while we get lucky, you know, but but the defense is just awesome. My favorite thing is defense, and when they get interceptions and they run them back. Um, I love offense. Of course, I do. I like it. I like running backs, and I love when running backs break um, a hole and run 70 yards for a touchdown. That's one of my favorites too. But I mean, but defense, there is just nothing bad you can say about these guys. The kicking game was awesome. I mean, the defense, for crying out loud, third play of the game, we almost had a safety. Now, if you're confused by that, the thing about a safety is he was tackled on the half-yard line and then pushed into the end zone. So you've got to the tackle has to occur. It has to occur from beginning to end in the end zone for it to be a safety. That's what that means. So that's why they didn't get the safety. But it didn't matter because three plays later we got an interception, and the Bears went down and scored a touchdown, which we're going to discuss. So the defense, I don't even know what to say. They just rocked it. Yeah, I already talked about everybody and the defense. I'm writing. I take notes during the games now, so I can look somewhat professional on this show. You know, let's face it. I'm really doing this show because I need a hobby. I love the Bears. I love football and love to talk. And and if it makes you smile and laugh while you're watching my show, my job is complete because that's all I'm trying to do these days because life is just hard. And so, you know what, if I can make you laugh at the end of the day and smile, then golden. Okay, so let's talk about that offense. Oh my God. Oh, wait. This is a good thing. This is the first time since 2012 we are 5-1. 8 years since we started this good. So that's a really, really, really good thing. The other thing is I'm going to give a shout out to him before I start ripping on the Bears offense is 85 Clement, our rookie tight end from Notre Dame and from the suburbs of Chicago. He's out in, I think he grew up in Libertyville, but don't quote me, but I'm almost sure it's out that way. First touchdown yesterday. That was awesome. I'd really like to see him get more involved. I think it's because he's still working on blocking and this and that. So Jimmy Graham gets more of the reps when it comes to that, but Clement's going to be good, I can tell. So congratulations to him on his first TD as a Chicago Bear. And let's hope there's many, many more to follow. Okay. So let's talk about this offense. You know how I feel about, if you've been watching my show, you know I'm not on the Foles bandwagon. And yesterday's game, remember I predicted last week that maybe it was going to be a breakout game, and he needs a breakout game? Didn't happen. So now it just cements to me that I'm right. Foles is not the answer, and it ain't going to get any better. And I don't know. Nagy loves him. He was making excuses for him yesterday. What he was doing in that game got Mitchell sacked and then some. And now he's making, excuses for Foles. Well, it was this, it was that. He never did that with Mitchell. So again, it just solidifies that I said he don't like Mitchell and never did. He didn't want him. He was stuck with him. And that's why he's always not been in Mitchell's corner. I don't think Nagy's ever been in Mitchell's corner, and that's why he's had a hard time. Because I don't think Mitchell could do any worse than what Foles is doing. And the one thing, Foles, it can read the defenses better than Mitchell, but work on it with them. Why isn't somebody sitting there and teaching him? I think you could teach him that. So, yes, he's got that edge, but Mitchell can also run out of the pocket and throw on the run and scan the field. Foles don't do that. He's the Statue of Liberty in that pocket. So, and we don't have a good offensive line. It's banged up. One of our best players went on IR. The Bears definitely in the draft need to work on that. And that's another reason why we're not getting our running game going. Although we're going to talk about that running game a little bit. And so let's talk about when we got the interception and we're down on the what? The 3-yard line. And Nagy, they can't figure anything out, so then they got to call a timeout. What is it? It's 4 minutes into the game and they call a timeout. All right. I was like, okay. I had to take a deep breath. I had to calm down. But what happens? They come up to the line of scrimmage and then they get a delay of game penalty. Are you freaking kidding me? And, he says, when asked about it, Nagy says, we have to finish. We have to do details. No, that's on the coaches. The timeout and the delay of penalty, because they're not getting the correct plays in, or the plays are sending in, it's not making sense to Nick and the players. So that is on Nagy. God's sake. I couldn't believe that. I was just bursting out of my skin, and I got more gray hair from that yesterday too. That's all I'm saying. I was just so pissed. Then Nagy, he's trying to run the ball the first half. I will give him credit on that, although it's not enough for me, in my opinion. But so we're driving down the end of the first half, right? It's the last drive of the half. So you want to score some points, Bears, because they got the ball in the second half after the kickoff. So it's always a win-win. If you could score at least 3 to 7 points right before halftime, and then you come out after halftime and you've got the ball again, a lot of good things happen when that happens. So he's working on, of course, he's wasted timeouts now. He wasted another timeout. And then he's on that last drive, and he wastes a timeout for just no stupid reason. I was just like, okay, you are just really pissing me off, Nagy. I mean, that's on Nagy. I don't see how anybody can see that. So we were winning, obviously, going in. The thing about the defense, too, bend, don't break. They did give up a couple long drives. One was 14 plays, but they only scored a field goal. So if you do that every time, you're going to win the game. Well, I hope so. We do have a really bad offense, but you should statistically win the game. So, so then we get into the third quarter. We come out, we've got the ball, right? So, and I want to point out, when we got a touchdown in the third quarter, it's the first time this year, this was the 6th game, that we scored in the third quarter. We have not scored in the first quarter and on the other previous games. Didn't do it, first time. Pretty sad, right? We did talk about when Eddie Jackson got in the third quarter the interception, but it was called back on a penalty on the Bears again. So that came back. So I was pretty pissed off on that. We talked about that. And then this is the one, I forgot, this is the one bad thing the defense did. Twice, back to back, they had 12 men on the field. 2 penalties, back to back. What the fuck? And ended up giving them a first down. Really? See, now that's again coaching. Where are the details? Where? The players are out there trying to do this and that and this and that, and it's a little bit of the players' fault too. But coaches somebody's watching that. Well, clearly not with the Bears. Back to back. Come on. Man, was I pissed. The kicking game, awesome. He kicked a 55-yarder. Right on. You know what? That was a thing of beauty, because we really need this kid to start to get solid so we can count on him, right? Okay, so then Nick Foles, he throws an interception. He's overthrowing people there. And then the second half in the third quarter was mid to third quarter and into the fourth quarter. All of a sudden, we were running and we were getting chunks. Montgomery was getting 7, 8, 9 yards because, part of it is the defense is getting tired. Although I don't know why. They weren't really on the field that much because our offense wasn't until the second half. But so we were starting to get those chunks. So that's when you say to yourself, you're winning, you're up 10 points. You want to start using the time. You want to start wearing down the time. You keep running it, Nagy, until they stop you. And he didn't do that. It's like all of a sudden, Montgomery got 63 yards yesterday, and it's better than it's been in the last 2 to 3 games. So they were starting to build some holes. So go with the momentum. Maybe that'll build up your offensive line to give them a little more credit. Like, hey, man, look, we did this, we did that. It gives them Montgomery. Because at the end, Nagy, at the end of the game, under 2 minutes, basically said to offensive line and Montgomery, I have no confidence in you. Because under 4 minutes, you should be running the ball as much as you want, as much as you can. Now, under 4 minutes, we were winning, and all of a sudden, we kept turning it back over to them. We're 3 and out. Now, all right, so under the 4 minutes, that was just terrible, terrible time management on Nagy again. Then we get to under 2 minutes. They've got 1 timeout left. Run the fucking ball. Now, let me tell you why. Nagy did not do that. He passed. He ran once and passed twice. We turned it right back over to them with time on the clock. Now it was 1 minute and 52 seconds. The Bears had the ball. Winning. Let's just say Nagy ran the ball 3 times without passing, okay? And even if he didn't get the first time, so he runs the ball the first time, Carolina takes their last time out. Boom, done. Okay, boom, clock stops. Probably with 1 minute and 48 seconds, right? So then you run the ball the next 2 times, and you use up. So you run the ball, you use up a couple seconds, and then you let the clock go down. So there's 40 seconds in between each play plus the play. Had he run the ball 2 more times, he would have eaten up over 80 seconds. There would have been more because I'm not counting the play, but 80 seconds. But no, Nagy we only needed 3 yards. And what does he do? He doesn't trust his running game. And so what? But you're still eating up the clock, so there was 2 bad things. It does say to you, after Montgomery, again, in the second half, was getting chunks. All of a sudden, it was like, I looked at my son, I said, the running game is happening. Let's stick with it. And that's when you got to pound them. You wear them out. And Montgomery's a solid dude, so he can start wearing people out. But no, he throws the ball. Time stops. We give the ball back to Carolina. Now, we all know that the defense stopped them, got a turnover. But the fact is, why put your defense in that position? That's not fair to them. You can't keep doing that week after week after week. I'm sorry. I have a very obnoxious dog behind me. And, it's just like, come on. Between Nagy and Nick Foles, Nagy, I think, is a good head coach. He seems to motivate people. He brings the guys around, but he's not an offensive coordinator. Okay, again, I've told you, we've got an offensive coordinator, but he don't call the plays. He's only there to kind of help Nagy out. I think the higher-ups, Ted Phillips, George McCaskey. George, I'm speaking to you, man. You and I are buddies. You know that, right? You got to get in Matt Nagy's face and say, we're done with this. We need somebody to really call real plays. Matt Nagy is not good at it. He's not good at time managing, and he's not good at calling plays, period. And I'm sorry, I'm not on the Nick Foles bandwagon. I don't see any improvement from Mitchell. Mitchell could have made these mistakes, but I think he could do better. I just do, because he can move more than Nick Foles can. Although Nick Foles did do a quarterback sneak, which, me and my son say, everybody Everybody around the league does quarterback sweeps except for the Bears. That's one thing they rarely do, even all the years. They just and I would bet if you did the statistics on quarterback sneaks with less than 1 yard to go on the goal line, I would bet 8 out of 10 times, if not nine, you score. And the Bears never do it. I was shocked they did it. I think Nick Foles just did it on himself. I think Nagy called one of his stupid ass plays, and Nick Foles said, "Yeah, I ain't doing that," and he did it himself. So I'll give him credit for that one. Okay. But Nagy, again, you know what, you guys, I love the Bears, and I want to win, but we've got three very tough games coming up. Next Monday night, we got the Rams, although they looked terrible last night. So I don't know if they were just off or San Francisco just all of a sudden they improved because San Francisco a week ago got their asses beat badly by Miami. So, but the Rams did not look very good. So we do play them next Monday. And then the week after that, we play the Saints. Now, the Saints are not the Saints of old. Drew Brees is not. He can still throw, but he can't throw long bombs. But you just, with the Saints and their head coach, he's such a good head coach, and he comes up with plays. They're always going to be a tough opponent, okay? And then we play the Titans. I believe it's the Titans, and then we play Minnesota. So we're coming up with some tough games, the next three games for sure. Minnesota, we'll talk about them later. But so Bears got to buckle down, but they got to score points. Again, I said it last week. You can't score offensive points just to barely win, and that's what they're doing again. I don't know. We're going to talk more about this quarterback situation, but I'm done bitching about it today. But it was a beautiful win. Me and my son were running around. When good stuff happens, I jump up, I run around, I do dances. I'm really, for a 62-year-old broad, I'm still got a little bit of life left in me. The brain may be pickled, but I'm going. So, okay, let's do the Bears victory song. All right, I got to get to it, though. So give me 1 second. You know what? I am challenged when it comes to this stuff. Okay, hang on. Okay, so I always promise to sing the Bears victory song on Victory Monday. So, you guys ready? Bear down, Chicago Bears, make every play clear the way to victory. Bear down, Chicago Bears, put up a fight even though our offense sucks. We'll never forget the way you thrilled the nation with our awesome defense. Bear down, Chicago Bears. Let them know why you are awesome and 5-1. You're the pride and joy of Bears Nation. Chicago Bears, bear down. Yeah. Do you love it or what? I know. You know what? I know I miss my calling. I know it. But, this is what I'm doing now. So, that's my show. I love my Bears, and I'm going to kill that fucking dog for barking all the time. So we're going to take care of that when the show's over. And then join me on Wednesday. Wednesdays, Thursdays, I will do a around the league, what's going on, and talk about a little college football because the Big Ten's coming back. I love me some college, and I love me Big Ten. So definitely. And then we're going to talk about, we'll see. But thank you, fans, for the loyal fans that are out there. And as I always end my show, please, let's just love one another, respect people. Let's just all get along. It's just hard enough. This year has just been so hard. Just smile at somebody. It's so much easier to smile and be happy than stressed and miserable. All right? So that's my worldly advice for you today. So, from Vegas, baby, I want you to keep on rocking and rolling. and we'll see you in a couple days. Bears number one. Don't you forget it.